All right, we
Yeah.
ready?
I mean, as ready as I'm ever gonna be.
Come on, let's bring it, babe. Let's go, baby. Oh man.
I got the Miller time with me. I might need another one. I don't know.
In 5, 4, 3. Let us heads. We are back with another episode of Please Let Us Golf, the podcast. Little spoiler. If you know the logo, if you know, you know, we're going to be taking on Old Barnwell 2.0. Let's just a little teaser. So Old Barnwell is special to us. Not only did it debut now as a top 100 golf course in the United States, not only was it the first big project we took on as Please Let Us Golf, we got a second run at it. So we're gonna have a little follow up on little operations. Some did it sustain, Adam? Did it meet or exceed where we were at before? So tonight, before we get jumping into the details, we got Goldie, we got Adam. Adam, I haven't talked to you really since Thanksgiving. I got Golfberg last week. How was Thanksgiving? I hated saying survive. Let's retire the did we survive the holidays? Let's love the
We
family a little bit.
we thrived,
We
man.
thrived in the family.
Went up to the parents, then went to the in-laws, did a lot of traveling.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
you had
packed up
put
the
some
kids.
miles. Oh.
Oh yeah, put some miles on the old Honda.
Mm.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to see family and all around successful.
Preach that positivity. What is the move though? So I mean, you're a sweet potato souffle guy.
Oh yeah, there's no other option. Sweet potato souffle.
Your marshmallows or pecans or combo?
Definitely pecans.
I say pecans just to
Yeah,
trigger all my
yeah,
brethren in
yeah.
the
And
southeast.
I had to say pecans just to We'll have a big debate
I
on
don't
that.
I don't understand that. Like I could go either way, but why not do both? Like why limit yourself? It's I
You a
love
marshmallow guy?
I could go either way, but I combine. We do them both. We put the actually the one this year was sick. The one side was pecans with a little like brown sugar on them, and the other side was marshmallow. But you got a perfect dip in there. Oh my god, you get a little best of both worlds.
I don't know. Marshmallows is just a little bit too much. I mean, it's like a little too sweet, a little too dessert.
Speaking of dessert, I usually have a different drink every night, but for the classy Old Barnwell discussion, I got a nice little Russian River Valley Pinot Noir, little 2017 action. It's going down nice, but I don't want to overdo it. It is a school night still, so I just derailed the Thanksgiving talk. But any golf the last couple weeks?
It's been cold.
Yeah, we've had a
Kind of.
cold. If you've been in the southeast, it's been like super cold
Yeah, so I haven't gotten out at all. I was gonna get out today and
since
just
OB.
never did. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've gotten out one time to hit some balls since OB, but it's been so cold. I mean, well, no, it's tough. It's tough getting out and
Fair weather golfers.
grind. I don't want to grind when it's 30 degrees outside. So haven't really done a whole lot of
Yeah.
practicing or even playing.
I think it's supposed to warm back up again starting next week though. So we got to keep it loose. Can't go in
Oh, yeah.
complete dormant mode. I know the Bermuda down here is going dormant, baby, but you can't go dormant. It's hard to pick it back up in March. So got to keep it. You had a lot of progress this year in golf. Proud of you, man.
Yeah. I got to keep it going. Like if I take more than 2 weeks off, I forget how to swing a golf club.
Oh, that's
I'll go out there and I'll be hitting the Jose's like left and right.
Woo! Man, yeah, they can't have that. So yeah, I got out there actually, believe it. So I've had about a month hiatus from local golf because we did Old Barnwell 2 weeks ago, just over 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks in a day.
Yep.
The 2 weeks prior to that, I had a little back thing going on, so I wanted to be 100% to make sure I didn't mess up OB. So I didn't play locally, but actually Wednesday I got out there. Of course, we picked the day. It was sunny. Can't complain. It was not a cloud in the sky, but it was blowing about 10 to 15 and it was 50 degrees out. So it was proper conditions, as I'd say. But I get out there and it's like, it's where I'm supposed to be. Then I want to quit and then I get excited. But I was overall still struggling with the long irons, but I liked it, man. It's pounding the driver. The flat stick was pretty nice, even though I did miss a ridiculous bunny. We're playing a five-man wolf game, and I was up big, and I had a chance to absolutely this guy lone wolfs and I had a birdie putt like a 4-footer on 16 and just yanked it. And I could have, I mean, I felt bad enough because he was having a day, but that would have been a payday. But it's still good. Still ended up with a nice little cashonia, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, rewinding back to the hitting the big stick. Well, I mean, have we put it out there to everybody the change in equipment yet, or are we still
Look,
kind of
man,
keeping that? Is that under
I've been
wraps?
trying not to broadcast it. Golfberg doesn't even know about it. But when I did my fitting at Sea Island, um, look, I was fit into a profile. I'll just say that. But I was like, whatever, man. I was really just focused on irons, whatever. But the driver, I just haven't loved. I've been a TaylorMade guy, and I've always been a big cutter of the ball. But if you don't know, we're gonna nerd out for 20 seconds. They set up a little flat and a slightly open face, and it just I just overcutting it. So I was really addressing the shaft, but then Jewel and I happened to win a tournament a couple months ago, and I had 5 hundo in Pro Shop Credit. That new
That's dangerous. It's
that new
dangerous.
Titleist driver off the rack 600. I get a little discount from. I think it's 650. Got a $50 discount. So then I went to our local fitter, who we hope to get on the pod soon, and ordered the shaft through him. He got me hooked up. We just did some validation, and it got in the bag, and it's nice. God, it's nice. But we might
It
do a full
it was
deep dive on it.
probably time to make the switch because, I don't mean to air TaylorMade out here, but the TaylorMade head's been compromised a few times.
Dude, I think I'm on my 7th TaylorMade head in 8-9 years, and that's why I've been with TaylorMade, is because they've replaced them for free. But I finally took that decision out of their hands and said I could feel that dud happening. I knew it was about to shatter at any point, and I said, "Fuck it, like we're moving on." So full Titleist
Titleist
family.
man. Wow.
Wow, yeah.
Titleist man. Love it.
That's
In
great.
the ball too.
Wait, I had to ask Aaron, did you see Moana 2 yet?
I have not.
Okay. All right. It's
I
fine.
hear it's not as good as the first one, so that's disappointing.
Well, Lin-Manuel didn't do all the music, so
Mm,
that's really
mm,
all you need to know.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Not
anyways,
for
all
me.
right, let's fast forward into why we're here tonight. Old Barnwell. So I don't know how much we need to like. I would encourage everybody. Some of our most watched YouTube content, not necessarily Instagram and TikTok, it came from Old Barnwell. So if you go to our videos, and please let us go off the podcast even before we knew it was a podcast. We have a sick little trailer, a couple minutes that gives a good overview of Old Barnwell. But then we have a good 30-minute deep dive where we have on-course footage. Me, you, and Jewel got to play it. February timeframe. So it is dormant. So if you're in the Southeast, that's not unusual. If you're not, it's grass is dead, but it played firm, fast, awesome. We highlighted some of our favorite holes. But this is round 2. So we're going in the fall. We're amped up about it. And if you don't know about Old Barnwell, it was just the course. Trailer was there for the pro shop, right? And it's just the course. And as awesome as that was, it was fun to go out now. The range is open. The kids' course, short course is open. They're doing the construction almost complete on some lodging and this awesome clubhouse scene. And so you can see what it's going to be like a year from now. And it's super exciting for the folks out there. But Adam, walk us through the mind of Mr. Fine. When you pull up and you crest and the property opens, what makes that first feel at Old Barnwell just unique to any golf experience?
That's what really hits you as soon as you get up to the makeshift pro shop that they have there, and you just see the entire property. You can literally see every single hole, and it's very unique because down here in the South, where we're at, typically you're playing a lot of tree line courses. You can't see other holes. It's not very wide open, and you get there and you just see it all, and it's a super expansive property, and like it just gets me each time. I love it. Like
Yeah.
my juices, as soon as I see it, my juices start flowing.
Yeah, it's brilliant, dude. Like it's again, we try to not get, super over emotional about things, but that first impressions and everything matter, right? But obviously you got to validate them when you get out there. But yeah, you see, like Adam said, that the whole property is just framed, and you can basically see some part of every hole. one core feature we'll kind of talk about that middle stretch of the golf course, or early, middle to late on the front nine. You go into the valley. So you're sitting up at the top of the property. You see the valley holes. You see where you're going to be scaling back up. You just see these wild bunkers and pews and elevation, or not really as much elevation changes, just like dramatic hills and landscape. And you just know, like, if you're into golf, you're immediately like, let's fucking go. This has got to be 10 out of 10. So, and yeah, and it's just, I think, and no matter what, when they're building out, you're always going to get that, how it's set up. Even when the pro shop's finalized, you're going to still have that feel of the parking lot, walk out, crest, and see it all. And it's as good as it gets. Comment. Oh, yeah. So it's, yeah. So moving on. So yeah, it's as good as it gets. So when you're taking on a place like Old Barnwell, so last time we played a combo tee, right? And I think it was like 67-ish 100 yards. It's a par 73, which is unique. But the hard part, this time we played it all the way back. And it was a little chilly and it was blowing 20, and we got some off and on sprinkles that first front nine. So we'll get into that hard stretch in a minute, but we bit off. So we took on the full course, whatever. I think if you push it all the way back, it can be extended to like 7,100. But it's kind of, you say like that's not super long because it's a firm and fast golf course. But I'll tell you this, it's unique because they have this combo of short par fours, right? They have a few of them on the course that are drivable. And then they got a short par three, and there's only 3 par threes. So you go, well, that distance at 7,100 yards, even though it's a par 73, it's a pretty damn long golf course from that 5 or 6 hard golf holes. You know, it's a 625-yard par 5. There's another par 5 that it's like a driver, a strong drive, strong 3-wood into, like it plays real 580, not a 520 kind. You know, you have this real, like, it was definitely let me just, I'm kind of stuttering over. It was a different ballpark playing it all the way back with some Kindiddies. What do you think?
Oh yeah. I mean, the first time we played it, we essentially didn't have much wind at all, and
No wind.
it was much firmer.
Yeah, it was dry and firm.
The ball was bouncing. It was really going. This time around, my driver got absolutely exposed out there. For one, I hit some big right misses out there, but
Yeah, speaking of drivers, I think it's time for you to make the
yeah, it's
switch.
time. It's time to make the switch. I need to just pull the trigger on a new one. But yeah. So I mean, it felt like all day the wind was playing directly into us, and the ball's going nowhere. It wasn't like super cold, but it
It was just
wasn't
like one of those
hot.
thick air days. I don't want to get into the humidity, Twitter humidity argument, but it was just a dense day,
Yeah,
because of the rain that was there earlier. And yeah, it played long.
yeah. I mean, about 4 or 5 holes in, I realized that I may have made a mistake playing the tips with you guys.
Yeah,
This is going to be a very long day.
yeah, we were pulling out some lumber into a couple par fours there on the stretch. So, like, yeah, let's get into the course. So, we talked about this last time. We're not trying to nerd out and lose the audience immediately, but when you hear width and angles, to me, this is the best example of anything I've ever seen on a golf course, because this course is straight up hard and challenging, but it also seems gettable because any skill level would enjoy it, because most of the fairways are damn wide, right? Like really big. But holy crap, if it does not matter your angle into these pins, because they are pretty dramatic greens and runoffs. And you might have had a, can you hear me? We had an audio issue already. So
I got you.
these greens and runoffs, like your angle really matters in nearly every one of those pins. And that's kind of where I got bit by Old Barnwell pretty early on, because I'm through 8 holes, guys. I'm striping the ball. I'm playing A+ ball striking golf. Had like 1 C- golf swing. Everything else was A to A+. However, I took a couple conservative lines off the tee. And while I was fine and far down there, when I did have a short club in my hand, I couldn't be aggressive because it was full ejection city. So I was having to play to 15 to 30 feet. or I would just be out of position and have a really difficult shot. So it's like it's definitely like the chess matches I've played on a golf course in a really long time.
And then if you get out of position as well and you don't hit the green, you've got a nice, very tight chip onto some extreme contour
Yeah.
greens, So, yeah, things can get away from you really quickly. But what I love is Old Barnwell is for everyone. It's look, the 20 handicapper is going to go out there and absolutely love it. They're not going to lose a ball.
Yeah, it's a
They're
one
gonna,
ball golf course. We've played it
yeah,
twice, and I played with one golf ball. Not the same ball, but one golf
yeah.
ball both times.
Yeah, but then you go all the way down to the scratch handicapper like you and Jewel, and I mean, it's gonna challenge you guys.
Yeah, we were grinding, man. It's
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
said, because the thing is that you get on that, especially that front nine's hard. Like back nine's got a lot of birdie opportunities. I mean, I guess 1, 2, and 3 on the front nine. It's kind of a cool setup. Like it's that's your birdie alley, right? Like one's the shortest par 5, easy tee shot. It's not an easy approach shot, but it's a pretty big surface. You can kind of miss it a little short, a little right. Two's this drivable par 4. Wasn't drivable for us that day, but it's a
I think that was the moment where I was like, "Okay, it's gonna be
yeah,
a long day."
yeah. It
The
was like
first time
two.
around, we all drove that green, including me. I think I even almost
Yeah.
went over the green,
Yeah, I think it was
and
like 295 stick that day, and Jewel hit first and was like 60 yards short, and Jewel hits at 300 yards, and we're like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be tough." But
let's go.
it's a short par 4, and then you got another really short par 4 after that. Not drivable, but it's a wedge in with bowls that kind of help you do a lot of that pin on 1, 2, 3. But then after that, it's like Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts, especially 4 to 7. They are 4 is one of the coolest par 3s you're ever going to see. Adam, sick flop ski on that hole. Just a wild shot, like 10 out of 10. But then you hit that 5, 6, 7, all par 4s, all were dead in the wind. All they're pretty long on the card, but they played those days. I mean, um,
Well,
six didn't play. 6 isn't super long, but it's long relative to how hard that green is to hit.
well, I wanna go back to 5. The tee box that we played 5 at was like
It's awesome.
way, way different than the first time we played it.
Yeah. It kind
It
of
made
has
a
little mini 9 at Pack Dunes vibes. So for the real sickos out there, if you've played that, like you're down in the little valley there and you're hitting to a blind and you kind of got a little cart path and pick out a little piece of grass to hit over.
yeah. I hit
Um,
an absolute interstellar ball on that hole, but,
yeah.
yeah, that one played much more difficult, and then, look, 6
You can have your honest opinion, man. We love this place, but you can be honest on you don't like
I
sixes green.
I think I'm netting out that 6 may just be a little too difficult. I mean, that first of all, I mean, when we played it, it's obviously playing much, much longer, but the green, you can't keep a ball on that green. I mean, from what I remember, you and Jewel, did y'all just bail out to the right? I mean, I don't even know if y'all went for the green.
Jewel was out of position and he just kind of hit a shot that just came up a little short. I blocked mine. Yeah, I hit a bad shot. That was my C- shot I referenced. But it's like even if you hit a good shot, I don't know. Because into the win that day, I still think I hit a 7 iron in, which doesn't sound long, but if you guys saw this green, it's a green you would want to be hitting like a 70 to 90 yard shot into, not a 170, 180 yard shot.
Yeah, if you're
Um,
hitting anything more than a pitching wedge in that green,
maybe even,
I mean, I'm not holding it.
yeah, but I
I guess
kind of,
Bill Haas is, but
but yeah, go see some of the Bill Haas content from our last trip at OB. Some really good memories there. But I think the thing is with 6, for people that go look it up, do your own research. It's this small peanut green, but it does have this slope left of the green, and it's the craziest thing in the world. I think how you play that hole is you can't look at the green. The green doesn't exist. There's this big mound that's like 25 feet tall, and it extends about 20 yards left of the green. I literally think you just hit it into that mound and let it come down to the slope to the fringe of the green. And whether that's a 50-foot lag putt then or a 20-foot lag putt, depending on where the flag is, I, I honestly think that's the only way to play it if you're playing for a par. It's just like a 1 out of 10 possibility to hit that green if you're like, I mean, like I said, Jewel and I are playing off plus ones. I wouldn't even be comfortable doing it with like a mid iron in. Yeah, I really wish I just blocked it way left, or I mean, pulled it way left.
Yeah, and then you get through 6 and you're like, okay, there's gonna be some relief, and then 7 just hits you right in the gut too, which
I,
I
I
kinda
know.
like 7. I think 7's greens is fantastic.
I think that's so funny. Like 7 just freaks me out. I don't know why. I'm just not comfortable with anything on that golf hole. Playing it twice now. It's a good hole. Like there's this kind of force carry, but it's not that long. I mean, it's like 220 from the back. But all you see is just like if I'm anything left, I'm just in fescue and native grass. But if you want to take on the center right lane of that fairway, all you see, it's 100 yards of fairway bunkers up the right. And they're not fairway bunkers you can advance the ball if you're that far back in, too. You're just like, it's a real hazard at that point. The lip's too high and you're 200 yards out. So yeah, it's just a beast of a golf hole, but it does have a sick ass green. And you hit, because you pulled it left off the tee, you have a hybrid in, and you hit this nice little banana cut and catch that slope green. I mean, you're probably at this point 50 yards left of the pin, and you catch that slope and you bowl it nearly all the way down, man. It was one of the sickest par saves you're ever going to see.
That shot is one of the main reasons why Old Barnwell, like, why I love it, because it gives you an opportunity to have the hero shot there. Any other course, probably, I mean, I would probably be OB, or a lost ball, but it you find your ball, it gives you the opportunity to make a hero shot.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I just wish there were more courses out there like that. And
well, I think one of the issues is too, you just run into so much residential golf. Like if you're, and that's what exacerbates the whole OB 1 yard off the fairway type of miss. And you go to a place like this, and it's like, well, it's nice to know my 1 or 2 WTFers has a shot. Like now, what's cool is when you have that shot, like you said, the shot at recovery, your ball also missed like a death bunker by like that. So the triples in play still, but at least gives you an opportunity to do it. And that's isn't that golf? Like that's what you're trying to do. Like you're trying to use your full bag, your full skill set. And that's probably another good point about OB. You really use, I think I used every damn club in my bag. I swear I really do think I did. Um, it's that kind of course because it does have quirkiness to it. Like some of these where we don't got to go hole for hole, but they have this 3 short par 4s. One of them on the back, guys, it's like a 240-yard shot. Now, really, should it be a par 3? You could debate that, but it's a blind shot. You hit over this massive 30-foot tall bunker. It's got a crazy green. If you're left or right or long, you're probably bringing bogey into play. It's a interest. The first time I played it, I didn't love it, and then when we played it again, I just kind of understood it a little more.
yes.
Because Jewel and I, first of all, hit nuclear bad shots. I hit my bad shot in a place that I had a chance. He had his bad shot in a place where he didn't have a chance. But you stripe it right there. You have an eagle look, but it's like, yeah, but you also, it's like you hit a 250-yard shot on a string, right? So if you were a few yards left, a few yards right, you could have brought bogey into play. So I kind of, it's different, but it's fun.
But
it's good.
You brought up another good point about the variety of the course. You have long par 5s, you have short par 5s. 1 and 15 are a great example of that. You have long par 4s, you have short par 4s, you have long par 3s, short par 3s.
Well, the cool thing about the 3 par 3s, like you said, you literally have a short, medium, and a long. You got one that's going to play 120 to 130. You got one that's going to play 170, 180, and then playing 11 back. I mean, it was playing, I think, 230 that day. I think on the card it's 215 or 220 or something. But That's a damn beast of a golf hole.
Somehow I went long.
And yeah, we have a slow motion. You touch the flag, you hit the flag. But yeah, it still went long. Peered it. But yeah, man, just super like engaging golf course. Like everything has consequence. And I'm gonna be honest too. Like I got absolutely fucked. You sound like a classic golfer. I'm telling you, in a 4-hole stretch, I had 5 lies or outcomes that happens to you as a golfer maybe once a year. Like that one where you carry a bunker, but you didn't get the kick over the other side, and your ball is literally like on a 70-degree downslope buried in 15 feet of rough. I had one where I hit into a fairway bunker and you like plugged into the top of the lip and playing backwards. I barely could get club on ball, and then all that kind of stuff. Yeah, 13, I hit the green, it ricochets down, and they go, "Oh, you just caught that back bunker." I was like, "Okay." I go there. It's one of those stances where you have to stand outside of the bunker, and I'm this high above the ball. I rocket it 100 yards over the green. So I was like, "Yeah, we're having a good time." That little stretch of, I think we were doing pickup double, but if it was true stroke play that day, there's a chance I would have taken a 10 or 11 on that hole.
You're gonna get some good bounces coming up. It all evens out, right?
It all
Golf,
evens out.
golf,
So yeah, if I had to be critical of anything on that course, I would say, because nothing in the world is perfect. I think 13's a little diabolical for me. That green is again, it's all relative. Play your tees, but I would say you could test really good players playing it all the way back. I think 13 was one when we played the mixed tees, it was 1 up, and it's just another one of those shots. If you're hitting a 120-yard shot in, it's kind of a cool challenge, like you're hitting to this postage stamp kind of thing. But when you 160 back, it just becomes a whole different ball game.
Well, also that's the fairway that slopes kind of severely from like left to right, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Where so your tee shot, you have to get it up to the left side so you have a decent angle into that
Yep.
green. You can bail out. There's tons of room out to the right. This is another example of width and angles. But if you go right where you are, you have a really weird, awkward uphill shot into, like you said,
with this freaking bowl that's insanity. But yeah, I mean, it's tough, that's for sure. But really, when I was thinking about it too, it's just that front nine, man. It's like an all world front nine. It's not that the back nine isn't good, but you go through this kind of like 10 just gets you out there. 11's a pretty cool par 3. 12, it's my least favorite of the par 5s. 13, 14 is that cool short but drivable par 3. 15's a 625-yard.
You like 12 better than 15? As far as par 5s?
I'd say maybe that's a good catch. Maybe it's a wash, but
yeah, those are
12 just has a pretty dramatic green, but yeah, 15's probably the least exciting golf hole.
15 was silly town for me. Look, I didn't hit a great drive on that hole, but I hit like back-to-back 220-yard shots, and I still had like 220 in. I mean, it was just like,
Adam hits driver, and I guess you hit hybrid up there, and I'm walking past you, and I just hear you go, I still have over 220 yards in. What the hell? And I was like, damn, that's tough. I mean, yeah, it's long. I mean, I hit driver 5 wood, and you still had whatever, I don't know, 100 yards in or something. It's a long ass golf hole. But then, man, 16. I know we've gassed up 16 before, but that is a special golf hole. I don't even know if the golf hole is great. It's just you're kind of hitting in the lull of the property, hitting back up to a crest, and you just get this. It's like the reverse feeling of when we said you walked out to the course. When you walk out of the course, you crest and you see it all. Well, when you're playing the back nine, you're kind of hidden from everything, and then you crest the top of the fairway on 16, and everything opens up. And you play in the late in the day, the golden hour is illuminating everything. And it is one of the sickest moments in golf. Like it literally rivals what we've felt at Bandon Dunes, in my opinion. Like there's not an ocean there, but that moment, I wish Golfberg was here because he's all about the moment. That moment, every time you just stop and and you 360 look around and you see the par three you're about to play, you see the front 9 holes, and you get that vantage point, man. Like, it's insane what they built. It's really one of the prettiest properties in golf I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think on the first OB pod, we kinda said that that reveal is similar to Sheep, the first hole at Sheep, where you crest that hill and you get the full
Yeah.
I mean, you get the Pacific Ocean, right? And it's look, OB doesn't have an ocean, but I think it's just as good of a real reveal to me as Sheep number one. I mean, it's special, especially like you said, we played it within the golden hour and
I
the
mean,
way
I'd put it
that
more like closer to the old Mac 3 reveal of the Ghost Tree, man. That's probably my coolest reveal in golf, but it's because you just see it all again, man. I guess the difference with the Ghost Tree, it's like you're seeing it all for the first time, the whole old Mac property. But damn, dude, it is just incredible. And then you see this green you're hitting into, and it's cool because you're kind of elevated and it sits back down in that bowl. But it's a long golf hole though, so it played pretty deep that day.
I didn't love that pin location on that hole, but
Yeah, if we're being nitpicky, that back, right? Because the green's insane though. I don't know how many. That's the only thing. I guess if you were being a critic, how many pinnable locations are really on that green? It's pretty. It's got
yeah.
some pretty damn severe slope for a par five green. So
You know it's special though when your second time around it hits just as good.
yeah, if not even better, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the first time you just didn't know it was coming, and you're like, what the hell is this? And
What
the second
the
time,
hell?
so like you said, just kind of regurgitating your words. Let me steal your thoughts. Like, it's coming, so you're like, oh, yeah. But then you see it. But I think we also hit it. We had a pretty cloudy day, but that last 5 holes, the sun came out, and there was barely a cloud in the sky, and that sun was beaming right there. It was and guys, that's what we
The
do.
phones got taken out, pictures
Oh,
going everywhere.
let's get stand there for a second. Yeah, man, that's as good as it gets. And
Had
then
to fill up
you
the content machine.
you're not lying. This shit sucks. No, but then you go 17's cool, super cool short par three. Got a coffin bunker right there with a nice little slope, but you got a wedge in your hand, right? Depending on the tees you play, you're probably hitting a gap wedge or a pitching wedge into it. Little coffin bunker. It's super cool little par three.
Yeah, I
And then you
found
go to
that
the
bunker.
yeah, you did a nice little. It was pretty saucy
Yeah,
shot.
yeah,
Then you go to
not bad.
18. So 18 is probably actually, if I had to be correct, it's probably my second least favorite hole. Um, it just gets you back to the clubhouse, but I do wonder if they're ever going to do something with it to make it a little more pizzazz. Like it's now, granted, I did hit.
It's the green's so bizarre. It's the flattest green that I've
Yeah,
ever played.
I know it technically slopes from back to front, but it just goes from back to front. There's no like, we almost we almost just had a
Whoa,
huge faux pas.
man.
There's no
Yeah.
like every other green is super dramatic on OB, besides maybe like tens. But this one just slightly goes from back to front. Your tee shot, you basically are hitting to an open field, um, and then you hit an approach shot. It's pretty uninspiring final hole, but you'll find that if you're a golf sicko, most closing holes really aren't that good because great architects know how to use the land to optimize during the round, and a lot of times that closing hole is just getting you back to the clubhouse or the end point.
Yeah, something about that hole that I can't figure out is those little I don't know what they're called, the
The
cops
view,
or
yeah,
the berm. I don't there's one on that hole that I just don't see it coming into play ever.
yeah,
Um, I feel like it's more of just like it looks, I guess, aesthetically pleasing. I don't
yeah.
know. It's kind of weird, but yeah, the green.
It'd be sick if they took those little pew looking things and just put them all over that fairway, and it was like it would make it something. Yeah, I just feel
Just
like,
surround the green with them.
I think though that 18 it's so flat because of on the flip side, maybe the fear is if you start getting a lot of elevation and some dramatic change that you lose that allure of like where the clubhouse is going to be in the lodging to see that full profile of the course. Like 18 being simple, almost enables you to see 1 to 17. So, like, if that's the concession to make a great golf course, I'm fine with it.
By the way, I know we're calling back something on the first take on OB, but when we when we got there the first time, the 18th green is so flat that we
It's
thought it was the
the pra
practice green.
Yeah, they told us there was one practice green available, and nobody was on the course that day when we went out there. So I put down a wedge, and I'm just like starting to launch balls at the 18th hole, and our host was like, "Yeah, that's the 18th green." I was like, "Wait, what? This is not just some kind of just warm up hole because this is the flattest, most random thing I've ever seen." But yeah, so we learned that way. But all right, man, well, that's a pretty good little discourse on OB. Anything else on the property?
I mean, 2 times around, I think we've hit just about everything on it.
Oh yeah. But so let's transition a little bit into using OB as a Trojan horse. So some of the so we just posted a thing on the kids course and this, and everyone's first comment is it's amazing, but then you get the yeah, but it's private. It's private. It's private. So one unique thing about Old Barnwell, let's have a little conversation of realistic business models in the world of golf because I'm as frustrated as anyone else. Like these $400 resort courses, or you got these $200,000 membership only courses opening up. OB, it's going to be my last gawk of them. My last hawk tua for them is they are private, but it's a pretty modest membership fee. Now everyone wants to be a member there. We'll see what happens. Pretty modest monthly dues. And they have a core mission. Not you can go look up their mission, but they really tell their membership, we expect you to bring guests out here. And they do open up for public access around the Masters. I know it's expensive, but also throughout the year, they're doing 100-hole hikes. They're doing tournaments. They're doing the Annika events. They're doing the, underprivileged, underserviced, underrepresented
Yeah,
community
I think they
events.
have a lot of the HBCUs that they
Yeah.
host out there.
And they're
So
not
they're doing
doing
some great
and
stuff.
they're not doing it for, and I'm be real, like I know a lot of people see that and like roll their eyes, like they're really doing it. Like that's a core part of their mission, not like let's check a box. And they're encouraging public. And oh, by the way, I don't want to spill all their tea. Their guest rate is insanely acceptable. You know what I mean? I know golf's all relative, it's an expensive sport, but they could. I mean, shit, they just got named a top 50 golf course in the United States. And guess what? Those other top 50 private courses are charging you. They're charging you $600, $700, $800 guest fees, guys. Like this is so they're not in it to just rake you over the coals, and they're delivering an awesome golf product. That being said, it is in Aiken, South Carolina. That land procured was probably a little bit. It's not coastal land, so you hear about these Florida courses popping up, and it's $250,000 memberships for Justin Thomas's buddies. But it is suck, man. Adam, like cook on it a second, man. Opine, as they would say. Like what are we doing in golf? Because I get it. It's expensive. I've listened to Tom Doak talk about you can't start a course from scratch now and make money unless it's this exuberant greens fee and blah, 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 blah. But something's got to give because I'm over just throwing money away at average and slightly above average experiences.
I just don't believe that golf has to be this expensive and this exclusive. Not to get on another rant about, all this lip service about growing the game. You're not going to grow the game until you make it less exclusive. And we've got all this stuff that doesn't even affect the actual golf that's being played on the golf course. You have all this external stuff that just is thrown on top of your golf experience that's not needed.
Yeah.
And it's just an extra expense that's being thrown onto the golfer's bill.
Yeah.
Like, not to take another shot at caddies, but look, caddies is one of them. I mean,
Patty's catching strays on this
sorry,
pod.
but like, look, this is 2024. We don't need caddies everywhere. There are certain super, super high-end exclusive clubs that look, it makes sense. You have a different clientele, but that does not work everywhere. I just don't see a need for it. And look, I don't want to take a shot at starters either, but maybe we don't need starters. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, AI could do that shit by now.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I get it. Like I understand that the operations are expensive. Now, I'll say there's a difference between mom and pop versus like these big resort operations, but yeah, there's got to be a way to make these footprints just simpler. Um, and I know part of it goes into the demands of the modern golfer expect perfect conditions and perfect that, but really you want to be real whether you agree with it or not. They just want good greens and they're pretty much everything else is acceptable. Um,
Exactly. Give me good greens, and then as far as the tee boxes go, all I care about is your par 3 tee boxes. Everything else, we can just hit off sand. I don't care,
yeah.
but make the greens great, make your
Make
par 3 tee boxes great, and
So let's dive a little bit into just instead of just sounding uh not petty, but just sound whiny, like everyone's gonna Goldie, you're just bitching about stuff that they can't do anything about. But let's talk about real models, right? Like so Old Barnwell is a model, like it's private, but we're gonna do our best to not be exclusive, right? We're gonna do our best to try to get the common folks to have an opportunity to come check out this property. Now, for every one of Old Barnwells, unfortunately, there's 100 opening up that are $250,000 memberships or $500,000 members. I saw one, I won't name them, that your tier two, it's $500,000, but you can be a tier two member for $250,000 and they will give you like equitable consideration, even though you're a tier two. It's just shit like that where you roll your eyes, right? Um, but then you do have like this Euro model, like Scotland, right? Most of these clubs that are on the open rota, or other than that, they are like private courses in their country, which maybe in the country they don't love, but they have an open tee sheet for public play for international guests, and then some public play that's allotted for citizens of the country. I think Sedge Valley's kind of trying to do that up at Sand Valley, right? You have it's technically private, but for resort guests, they open up about a third of the tee sheet. So, I mean, that's a way of balancing the book to get some seed money from private clientele, but still having people come see the property. But yeah, man, there's probably not a great way around it, but I think there probably needs more of that, like closer to hybrid models than there are just get off my lawn models. It's just a turn off.
I mean, if you have a full tee sheet, is there any reason to be charging like over $250? Like, doesn't it just feel like it's kind of pure greed at that point? Like anything north of, I don't know, 250, 300?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if it's probably a case by case basis. I mean, if you're in it- you know, if you're in Monterey versus rural Wisconsin, that calculus is probably different, and their pricing reflects that. But yeah, man, I don't know, like how
And
much
I
risk
don't
do.
wanna just get on, a rant about, cost, because the other side of that coin is exclusive, how exclusive it is. And I know you were kinda touching on that, but, um, I mean, the Euro model, they kinda do it right. I mean, they give they give you at least an opportunity, I guess, through a lottery of some sort to at
Yeah,
least get on the course, but that's
yeah,
not exactly a used model here in the US.
yeah, and I guess I hate how much like the golf community. So we've been on like we're the anti-golf content creators, right? We're going after the venture capital owned golf content that you think's organic, but it's really all been bought out and it's being force fed through some algo driven bullshit. Well, the that algo driven bullshit also kind of puts these hyper elite, hyper private courses on a pedestal. And don't get me wrong, I know they're amazing properties. I know a lot of them have significant historical context, but at some point we just got to like put our foot down and be like, fuck it. Like I'm talking fuck it all. No offense, Oakmont. You name it, LACC. Like, no, like you're done. You're cut. If you want to be your own little boys club, just be your own little boys club. But we have to stop like putting them up, man. Like USGA giving them tons of money to go host events there. It's like I get it, they're great properties, but at some point it's like you're the only forcing function to help us move on. And I don't know. I probably If you had access to it, you would do it. Yeah, of course, I would love to see all of those golf courses, but it pains me that, like, if you want people to fall in love with the game, they need to be able to see this shit. And that's the whole problem. Like, you just can't.
I mean, doesn't it feel like golf is, to me, it feels like golf is headed towards like a doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I think
there
professional
has to
game
be,
is
there is a bubble,
it,
right?
it, it's a bubble, and I think the professional game is helping accelerate that, right? So interest in the pro game's going down, which I'm going to do a whole nother pod on. Is golf a game or a sport? Because I have a theory that professional golf is a sport. Everything else everyone else does is a game. And the game of golf is beautiful, but the sport of golf keeps weighing us fucking down. I'm not a grow the game champion. I'm not going to be cynical to say shrink the game, but it's like it really isn't for everybody. But it's like, instead of trying to trick people into being like, oh no, Top Golf is sick. Top Golf's going to die, guys. It's going to die. You do it once or twice, you never want to do it again. TGL, it's going to die. I hate to break it to you, but after you see these guys hit balls in a simulator after week 3, you're going to go, oh, Tiger's hurt. Yeah, I'm never going to watch this again. You want to sell golf, sell the game of golf, sell the beauty of golf.
Well, I mean, I think you had the COVID bump where you had a lot of folks pouring into golf, and I don't know of that subset of people how much have actual like staying power. If at some point those folks are going to start, waning off. Look, there's a lot of things in golf that are pushing you to like not want to play golf.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's a great game. It's addictive. Like, everyone gets the bug, but there's also a lot of stuff that, pushes you not to play golf.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm just curious really to pay attention the next couple years, because I think there's going to be a rude awakening coming.
Oh, yeah.
And there's
Hell yeah.
golf courses continue to be built. All these new courses popping up everywhere. We got golf destination courses just being built just everywhere now.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting to the point in my life in America. I'm either going to Pinehurst or I'm going to Bandon Dunes. If not, just catch me at the local club and I'm good. Like, I don't need to go see anything else. Like, that's just where I'm getting to. That's probably a good way to bookend this, because we're running a little long. But all right, Adam, this was a good one. I mean, OB is easy to talk about. It was a good segue into a little intro. I like that. I mean, teeing up, little Thanksgiving recap, little golf recap. OB Deep Dive 2.0 took on a little bit of the golf industry there. I definitely want to reattack that. Is golf a game or a sport? I think that could blow up.
That's a good segment.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Invite me for that one.
Yeah, I will. I'll put it on your Google calendar that we can't access.
Thank you.
But as always, guys, hope you enjoyed, and stay plugged. Peace. Comment, like, subscribe. Did it. The balloons came up. The balloons came up. Can you get
Never
a thumb?
seen that before.
We can't get the thumbs.
Man,
maybe they pushed an update.
You stole my bit.
We do need to be pushing more people to actually like subscribe and comment. I just can't bring myself to do it so early in the pod. But I guess doing it now when there's negative viewers, that's probably not the best.